In this video, we are going to cover the remaining 17 principles of management which is given by Henry Fayol. And at last of this video, there are case studies based on these 14 principles of management which you have to do by your own. So, let's start. So, the 8 principles of management is known as centralization and decentralization. So, students, centralization as it is written over here refers to the concentration of authority at higher levels, whereas decentralization refers to dispersal among more than one person. It means that centralization means that when the top level retains the authority, right? So the maximum authority or the whole authority is in the hands of top level management, whereas decentralization is when there is a delegation of authority at all levels of management. So we'll understand this with an example. Let's take an example. In a company decides to give 10% discount to their regular customers. Whereas if the salesman want to give more than 10% discount for a special order, then they have to take permission from the top level management. So in this example we have seen that the top management has decided 10% discount. So it means that there is the authority which has been centralized, right? So they have decided to give 10% discount when they have delegated the authority, right? That is why the authority are in the hands of salesperson. So he decided to give more than 10% to their regular customers. But before that, the salesperson has to take permission from the top level management. And again, there are positive effects and the negative effects. I told you before that negative effects mean the violation of this principle. If this principle is not there, then what may happen? So positive effects are the employees will be motivated, they will be satisfied. It will reduce the labor absenteeism and turnover, improves relationship between managers and workers. What are the negative effects? Definitely employees will be demotivated, increased labor turnover and unhealthy relationship between the managers and workers. Students, it is very important to understand that there should be a proper balance between the centralization and decentralization. So so when the company is small, right, or an organization is small, then there will be more centralization, or there will be the more authority would be in the hands of top level management. Whereas the company is large or an organization is large, then there will be more decentralization, right? Because they'll pass the authority to in the respected hands. So I hope you understand with this principle. Now coming to the 9th principle, that is scalar chain. Scalar chain means, or it refers to the chain of authority and communication that runs from the top to bottom and should be followed by managers and their subordinates. So scalar chain or the chain of communication must exist that flows from highest to lower level of management, and following the scalar chain or the chain of communication will help in reducing the confusion and chaos. Let's understand with an example. There are subordinates in the organization and there are supervisors, they are managers, right? So subordinates should report to the immediate bosses, that is their supervisors, and supervisors report to the manager. So it helps in reducing the chaos and confusion and delay in the work, right? So what are the positive effects of this principle? Facilitates the smooth flow of communication. Unity of command is followed. No communication gap is there in between. And what are the violation of this principle? Will lead to miscommunication. There is no clarity of authority and responsibility. Now we'll see this figure. This figure, you can see and the information is being passed from A to E, then E to F, and F to G. This is known as the scalar chain. Whereas Henry Fayol came up with the new term, he introduced this new term, that is Gangplank, in between the scalar chain, because this process of communication or authority takes a longer time. That is why it is very important to introduce a new concept, that is Gangplank. So what is Gangplank? Gangplank permits direct communication between the employees working in different positions without following the scalar chain, as we can see in the given figure. So let's take an example. If these are manager, this D is the production manager and G is the finance manager. So it is not required that they have to follow the chain of authority. They can directly communicate through the help of Gangplank. I hope you understand. So now coming to the 10th principle, that is order. So order means there should be an orderly arrangement and specific place for everything and everyone. It means that man and material should be placed at their designated places at the right time. Let's understand with an example. So students, if you want to issue a book, where you will go? You will go to the staff room? No, you will go to the library, because you know that there is a specific place where the books are being kept, right? So with this we have understood the order. Now there are certain positive side and the violation of this rule. So what are the positive side? No wastage of time in search of man and material, smooth running of operation, increase efficiency and productivity. And what are the violation? Obstacle in smooth running and wastage of time and efforts unnecessarily. If the things, if the tools and if the people are not placed at their specific place, then the most of the time will be wasted on finding or searching the things. Now coming to the 11th principle of management, that is known as equity. So students, equity means that as a principal emphasis on kindliness and justice in the behavior of managers towards worker. So there should be no discrimination against anyone on account of sex, religion, caste, language, belief or nationality. So kindliness and justice in the behavior of manager towards their employees. It means this principle is known as equity. Now let's understand this principle with an example. A company goes for internal hiring or the internal recruitment for the post of sales manager, whereas there is a tough competition between the two employees. The first one is Renu, and Renu is a female, and Ranjit is a male. Whereas Renu is good in interpersonal skills. Knowing that Renu is more capable than Ranjit, the top management decide to hire the manager decide to hire the Ranjit in place of Renu, because he discriminate in part of sex, that she is female. Then the manager may thought that she might not be capable of taking that much of work. So this is something which should not be happen in any organization. That is not fair, and the manager is violating the principle of equity over here, because on the part of gender he discriminate between the Renu and Ranjit. So here we have understood the principle of equity. Now coming to the next principle, that is stability of personnel. Students, it is very important to understand that stability of person is also known as stability of tenure of personnel. So, Fayol insisted that an employee must be kept at a post for minimum fixed tenure. Tenure here means the fixed timing. Employees' turnover should be reduced so as to ensure effectiveness and efficiency in an organization. Now there are some positive effects and negative effects. Positive is if there is a fixed time that they are going to be allocated for the work, it encourages the job security in the organization, increases the motivation of an employee, reduces the labor turnover, and definitely expenses on the recruitment, selection and training. Now there are violation of this principle. If they are again going for recruitment, the cost will be incurred and increase in labor turnover. So this is known as here we have completed the 12th principle of management. Now the 13th principle of management is known as initiative. Initiative means taking the first step with self-motivation. Fayol suggested that employees in the organization must be given an opportunity to take some initiative in making and executing the plan. So, manager should put forward employees' ideas and suggestions and execute them. If a manager is involving the employees in taking decision, in that way the employees will feel that they are being a part of an organization. There is a requirement of them, and the feeling of belongingness will generate uh, in the employees. So there are certain positive sides and the negative sides. It will increase the motivation, it will increase the efficiency and productivity. What is negative side? Frustration and dissatisfaction among the employees, and there will be no improvement. If there is no motivation, then there is going to be no improvement. So with this, we have completed the 13th principle of management, which is known as initiative. Now we are going to see the next principle of management, the last principle of management, which is known as esprit de corps. Students, esprit de corps is a French word which means that team spirit, right? So management must encourage and promote team spirit, unity and harmony, and manager should replace I with we. This will bring coordination and cooperation in an organization. So we'll understand with this esprit de corps or the 14th principle of management with an example. Production manager assign a target of manufacturing target of manufacturing 100 units to a group of 10 members. So now what the group is going to do is the 10 people, those who are there in that particular group, they are going to divide those 100 units among themselves. Maybe some of them will be producing 10 units, some of them will be producing 5 units or maybe 15 units, right? So this will help in improving the team spirit. Now there are certain positive sides and the negative sides. What are the positive effects? Develops the team spirit, achievement of group goal. And negative or the violation of this rule is lack of coordination in the organization and failure in achievement of goals. So students, with this we have completed our 14 principles of management, and now your homework is there. I have given certain principle. I have given the certain case studies that you need to solve them by applying these 14 principles of management. So with this, I Varsha Sharma signing off, and see you in the next video. Thank you and be safe.